Hello YouTube, we have a GE dryer that is not drying that well. So if you have this problem and you have a similar model, this is just your classic GE dryer. They can last for a while, but there are some components that you need to look at. So what you can do is first, obviously, if you're going to service it, you want to disconnect your power. But for now, we want to check what's going on. So what I already did on this dryer is a common part that wears out is the actual dryer drum belt. So this is the drum, obviously. This is the interior of it. The clothes, obviously, when you place them in there, it spins and it produces heat from the heating element in the back, and that's how your clothes get dry. Now, obviously, what is powering it is a motor. This is an electric dryer, so it's an electric motor down here. But also, the element is producing a lot of heat at the same time, but also your clothes need to dry clearly with heat, and with the rotation they need to move around, so air and heat, so air circulation is important. So the belt, you can see this groove here. So the belt actually comes on the outside of that, and you can't see it. You have to access that. So let's look at this dryer. First of all, this is that common model number here. Usually goes by 453EB2WW. That's what you're gonna see. This first part usually doesn't matter really. But anyways, what you wanna do is note down the model number so you know which belt you need to order. Again, if it is the belt, how can you tell? The easiest way to tell if it's the belt that is causing the issue is you have this disengage button. See how the light shuts off? So obviously when you close the door, now the dryer thinks it's closed and you can turn it on. So what you can actually do is you can set this to, let's say, less dry, and when you push this button down here, now you can actually turn it on and see if this spins. So let's do that. Sorry, doing this second hand. And you can see it's spinning as I'm holding this. So that tells you the belt is fine. If this is not rotating or spinning, if this was not rotating, that would tell you that there's a problem with the belt. Either it's broken or it's slipping, so you need to swap the belt. Other major components that go are the heating element all the way in the back. However, that's not that common. The other big common piece are the bearings. So there's actually a bearing kit you can purchase, but you can also go cheaper route if there's a component from the bearing kit. This is a component from the rear bearing kit. It's a rubber or plastic piece. And then you have the front bearing sliders. So these sliders, these plastic sliders go, the dryer drum has rests on these sliders. They come here. I think there's two more. Obviously you would have to remove the top panel in the front to see that, and then remove the drum to get to the rear ones. So what we're gonna do today is remove the front panel and the drum and everything else, and then we are going to replace these front bearing sliders and then this rear bearing plastic piece. I forget what it's called, but anyways, to do that you're gonna have your screws right here on the front. So you want to remove these. Remember, shut off your power. So here we go. What I'm going to do is just remove these and then shut off the power. You really shouldn't work on anything without shutting the power off first. And you can see how these, when you remove these, they disengage this top component, and then you're able to lift this, pull it out, and do that. But let's shut the power off first. So unplug, or what you can do is, if it's hardwired, you want to shut the circuit breaker off. So now we have no light, so no power. Lift this. Right there. And Here we go, now we have the drum exposed. So you want to put this panel aside somewhere. There we go. Alright, so I have a new dryer belt intact. You can't see down below, but that's where the tensioner is and the drive pulley. So you can see it's pretty tight. You can't remove it from here. To remove the drum, you have to take it off the back assembly, pull it towards you. But you need to take this front panel off. So what you want to do is close this door. And you want to lift the drum and then pull this out. Now you're going to see some screws after you remove this front panel on the side here that you can remove, so you can expand these sides a little bit to pull the drum out, and then take care of the rest. So again, to take the front panel out, you want to do is close the door and unscrew these screws holding the top of the front panel out. Don't drop them. There's one. And notice how the panel's coming out. Do the same thing on the other side. Alright, so your panel comes out easily, and what you can see here are those bearings. Right here, this one is completely worn out. This one here, almost non-existent. Supposed to be two more, one here and one here, and you can see those are completely gone. So we're going to replace those. Those would be the front bearing sliders. There's where your bulb is, and there's the drum. Now, of course, to remove this panel, you got to unhook a few things on the bottom. So what you want to pay attention to is the wiring here. Alright, so if you extend this down, there are a few wires here. And you want to take a picture of this so you know how your wires are connected. As you can see, there is a red wire, sort of like an orange and a white. So you want to memorize that the orange is connected to the top, the red is connected to the black. So there's a connector right there, and then the white proceeds underneath and is connected right there. So you want to disconnect these slowly. You need maybe a flat screwdriver, possibly, to assist you with this, and then you can remove the front panel. Alright, so once you remove the front panel, you got the drum left. Again, the area where you're going to find the connecting pieces is going to be right there. And what you're going to do is basically start with the front bearing sliders. So to clean those up, or to replace those, you want to clean this up first. So you want to wipe this off as much as possible. Clean it. You'll notice that they have these little tabs, so that's how you're going to put them on. Each one's going to have a little tab right here that they stick on. Alright, so once you clean everything up, you want to make sure you take the old ones out. Sometimes they'll be stuck, like in this situation here. This one was actually stuck because it flew down. It broke off. There it is. Broke off from this piece holding it. You can see right here. So that one was down, causing an issue probably. Don't know if we're going to be able to replace it. It's because it's piece that's supposed to be holding it is broken. But you can see here, top one actually has the little component right there. And then this one here is worn out, so we're going to take it out. You see it was never replaced before. Put that away. And let's see. This one here is also non-existent. Wear and tear, so you can see it's not even there anymore. So I'm going to try to replace two and then see if we can do anything else with the other ones. Alright, so once you have everything cleaned, you want to take your new slider, bearing sliders, and just pop them back on. So again, if you have the little tab remaining, you're going to flip this and basically hook it on like so, and then slide this other piece in underneath right here. So you're basically getting something like that. And that's one. Now this one can't put on because it broke here, so we're gonna see if we can do something to put this in somehow so it doesn't fall off. And we have another one that's actually good, so we're gonna take another one here, same process, attach it, and then just slide it in here. And that should hold, hopefully. We got another broken one here, so we'll try to devise something. Alright, so what you want to do next is put your hand through here, and your other hand, obviously I'm holding the phone now but recording this, but my right hand is going to go through this hole right here, and my left hand's going to go right through here. We're going to grab that idler pulley right there, the white one, and get that belt off of the off the drum, so we can take the drum. So basically we just want to release the tension. You can see right there. So we're going to just pull that little idler pulley towards ourselves and take the belt off. So again, using one hand going through here, the other one there, then we'll pull the drum out, and then we can take care of that back rear bearing. Alright, now we disconnected that. We can see the belt is loose, and to take the drum out, you want to loosen the sides. So loosen the two nuts or two bolts we talked about before, or screws. So just this one over here, and the one over here. And this is just to give you a bit of expansion on these sides so you can get the drum out here. So save these. Now that the belt's out, we have access to the rear bearing. So what we're going to do is take this one off and put the other one on. Now it is a little tough to take it off here, so you make sure you shimmy it off as best possible. So, all right, so we have the new plastic component on the bearing here. Notice the drum had to face it down. Just make sure you don't damage your belt. Just make sure nothing is pressing on the belt, and then you got to press this down with something really hard to make sure that it pops on, because it's a little tight. Once it pops on, it's lubed. You can clean that side also, close to the heating element, and you're ready to go to put it back on. So remember, with the idler pulley, it has to provide tension as it's on the belt, and then go around there. So just make sure you run it across and under the pulley there. All right, next we're gonna take the drum after you lube everything up, or put it back in. So make sure you insert it right in the back there, into that hole. You're gonna want to have the shaft bearing go into that hole right there where the rear bearing is, the assembly. And make sure you have your belt around it, going around that back rib, so the back of the drum, not the front one. And then of course you're gonna run it like we did when we were taking it off, around that idler pulley, and or pardon me, the tensioner, and then the pulley down there. So let's do that. All right, so once you have that drum aligned, make sure it's all the way in that bearing. This belt is going to be obviously loose, so what you want to do is make sure it's in the back groove here, not the front, the back groove. And then you're going to run it just like we did last time. You're going to go down here, put your left hand here, right hand here, and you're going to run that from the right side, or run this belt across the tensioner pulley and underneath the actual drive pulley. So it's going to go like over and then under the driving pulley, and then back up across the drum. All right, so once you have your belt tight on here, you want to grab your front panel with the little light in the door. Take that, spin it, and connect it to the wiring on the bottom. Remember how you did your wires, so just reconnect those. So if you don't remember, it's the red connection to the black. This is actually hard to do with one hand, so I'll have to drop the phone. But anyways, red to the black. The orange, remember, goes through the top, and the white goes underneath and connects to the lower one. So if you can't remember, always take pictures or write it down prior to disconnecting. Okay, once you have both your screws in there, check, make sure everything's sturdy, got all the connections. Last piece is to put the top component back on. And then of course, once we put the top component back on, don't forget the two screws that also hold the front panel on the top. So what we're gonna do is slide this under here in these tabs. go. And what you want to check is make sure that the sides are going in, and slide it so you can press this down. It's not really on, so you just gotta give it a few shots here to get this right. It looks like it's no, not yet. So again, you don't want this going over, so try it a few times to get this back on. Okay, once you have that top on, so there's a little bit of a gap here, so press down on it, and what you want to do is take your two long screws that you removed earlier and put them back in. Just make sure you okay, I'm gonna do the same thing on the opposite side, and you should be good. All right, once you have everything connected, connect the power or turn on the circuit breaker. So in my situation, I'll be connecting the power back on. Okay, first thing we check is the light is on, so that's good. We connected the wires. Looks like that disconnect switch is connected, and fire it up and see if it works. All right. All right, looks like it's working.